Welcome to another Wednesday night class in Halebanon, Avenue S, the corner of East 9th. We're learning Perashat Hayei. Class is sponsored anonymously, L'Zchut Rachel Imenu, that Be'adat Hashem we should have Shemirah for all of Am Yisrael, and for this person's mother, her neshama should have an aliyah Be'adat Hashem. Towards the end of the Perashat, when Eliezer, the servant of Avraham, comes back with Rivka, and now will be the first time that Yitzhak will finally see his spouse, his mate for life. It says in the Pasuk, "Vayasei Yitzhak lasuach basadeh lifnot arib, vayisa einav vayar v'hinei gemalim ba'im." Yitzhak Abinu went out to supplicate in the field. He went to pray. He established tefillah of mincha. Towards evening, he raised his eyes and he saw, and behold, camels were coming. Now we read this pasuk, and we could ask ourselves a very simple question, an obvious question. What do I care that he's seeing camels? Just tell me he sees Rivka. I mean, isn't that the whole point of the Perashat? The point of the Perashat is not about the camels. In fact, by the way, the Perashat makes a huge ordeal. About the camels, he takes 10 camels with him, and he ladens up the camels with all the gold and the riches, and the camels, when they come to the well, the camels prostrate themselves, and now he gives water to the camels, and at Rivka giving water to the camels. I understand. Camels are very significant, mode of transportation, but mention camels one time. And especially over here, Yitzhak goes out to the field, he wants to supplicate, he wants to pray, he wants to daven, he wants to beg Hashem, he wants to establish mincha. What do I need to know that he sees gemalim? You know what he really does see? He sees Rivka. And Rivka in turn sees him, and she says to the master, she says to Eliezer, who is this person? He says, that's my master. We know the whole story. So what do I need this? Ve'hinei gemalim ba'im. What do I need to know that camels are coming? It's obvious. If Eliezer went with 10 camels, he's obviously coming back with 10 camels. He's not coming back by foot, and he's not coming back with an extra camel or with non-camels. So in order to understand this whole perasha within a perasha, as you see, I like to bring sometimes the topics that people think are insignificant. You've been learning this perasha your whole life. What do you know about Perashat Hayei? It's a Shatchan parasha, right? You'll see this Shabbat, and this weekend they'll make a whole event about Shatchanim. Because the first time any Shatchan is mentioned is Eliezer. So we know it's about Shatchanim, we know it's about Rivka, and the water, and the kids draw in the school, they draw the Rivka, giving the water to the camels. But what about this? What's the whole significance with the camels? In order to understand this, we have to see a Gemara, Masechet Berachot. Seemingly has nothing to do with this Perasha, but then we'll try to connect it, Be'ezrat Hashem. Gemara Berachot Daf He Amud Bet. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Eliezer Halash. Rabbi Eliezer was very sick. Al legaber Rabbi Yohanan. Rabbi Yohanan comes to visit him. Hazad hava kagane bebet afel. He sees that he's living in a very dark house. Galyeh ledar'eh Venafal nehora. So Rabbi Yohanan, he wants to illuminate, he wants to brighten up the dark room. So what does he do? He doesn't put the lamp on. He doesn't put the candles on. So what does he do? He uncovers his sleeve. And the beauty radiating from his body lights up the whole room. Okay? We have to explain, what does that mean? Can I do that? I'll save a lot on electricity. Can I do that? Can I just go into a room and just uncover my sleeve, and just lights up the room? Really? That's what happens. So what does he see? He sees after he lights up the room, he sees Haziyed dehava kabacher Rabbi Eliezer. He sees Rabbi Eliezer is crying, back and forth. He says, "What are you crying for? Don't worry, you'll get better in due time." And then Rabbi Eliezer tells him, he says, "Amar le." I'm not crying because I'm in pain, I'm suffering, I'm in misery. I'm crying because of your beautiful, majestic beauty. That beauty that you just showed me right now by uncovering your sleeve. You're so beautiful, it means nothing. It's all vain. It's going to go in vain. Nothing is going to be left of a human being after 120 years. with all your beauty and all your makeup and all your facade, there's nothing going to be left. So when Rabbi Hanan hears that nothing will be left of a human being after 120 years, what happens? It says over here, Amar le alda vaday kabachit ubachut ravayhu. They both end up crying. So first we have Rabbi Eliezer crying. We don't know why. Rabbi Hanan comes to visit him. He sees it's a very dark room. He uncovers the sleeve. He lights it up. He says, "What are you crying for?" He says, "Because I see your beauty. Your beauty is nothing going to be left of it after 120 years." He says, "Oh, that's why we should both cry." What exactly is going on in this Gemara? A few questions. Question number one. What is Rabbi Eliezer doing in a dark room? Well, you don't have money to buy candles? You can't open the window? Was it daytime? Was it nighttime? Question number one. Number two, we asked the obvious simple question. How do you light up a room by just rolling up your sleeve and showing your skin to the rabbi? Number three, why do they both cry? If Rabbi Eliezer is crying when Rabbi Yochanan comes to visit him, after this exchange of words, they end up both crying. What is going on with this Gemara? In order to understand this Gemara and to understand this Perashat, we have to look at a different Perashat. We have to look all the way to Perashat Balak. When Balak summons Bil'am to curse the Jewish nation, Bil'am sees the Jews on top of the mountain. He's standing on top of the mountain and they're in the valley and he sees the Jews and he says like this, Ne'um ha'geber setum ha'ayin. I will now say my speech and I am blind in one eye. We know Bil'am was blind in one eye. He says this is the speech of the person that's blind in one eye. But what does he use? He says Ne'um ha'geber. Geber is another way of saying Ben Adam, human being. Another way of saying human being, either Adam or Geber. But why does he use Geber? He continues and he says, Ne'um shomeya imre'el ve'odeya da'at elyon. I hear what God wants and I see the vision of God. Mahazeh shaddai yehezeh nofel uglui einayim. And when God wants to reveal himself to me, as we know, when Borei Olam wants to reveal himself to all prophets, Jews and non-Jews alike, it's not a communication when they're awake. They have to be sleeping, other than Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was the only one that he was awake and is able to see Borei Olam kabiyachol. But all the other prophets, they have to sleep, and then Borei Olam reveals himself to them. What exactly is Balaam saying over here? We have to explain the words. Ne'um ha'geber shetum ha'ayin. I'll tell you now my speech. I will now curse the Jewish nation and I'm blind in one eye. What do I care? Ne'um shomeya imre'el ve'yodea da'at elyon. I heed to the word of God. I listen to his commandments. Mahazeh shaddai yehezeh. I see the visions. Nofel ugului einayim. When I sleep, when I fall, then my eyes are open and I get the prophecy of God. And of course, we can't only explain this pasuk on the surface. We have to get to the deep meaning of the pasuk, how this relates to the Perashat, and how it relates to the Gemara we just quoted. We have to understand in life, there are people that are in constant worry. And because they're in constant worry, they can never enjoy their life. They might have everything going for them. Fancy homes, fancy cars, Baruch Hashem, they have children, Baruch Hashem, they have a lot of money, they're well-to-do, yet they're always worrying about what will happen in the future. And we touched upon this on Shabbat, and because they're always worrying about the future, they can never live in the present and enjoy the present. They're worrying about how will I pay, but you have money. How will I pay tuition? How will I marry my kids? But you have the means. Yet they're always worrying. And the worry is so severe that it puts them in a state of depression. It's no coincidence that they say, more money, more problems. It's not only a song, it's a real statement. It's a fact of life. You know that song, Moshe? It's a fact. You're all nodding your head. That's a song? Of course we know. Yeah, of course. More money, more problems. They're always in constant worry. On the other hand, there are people that live in the moment. They never worry. They never have de'aga. And the reason why they never have de'aga, and de'aga means worry in Hebrew, The reason why they don't have da'aga is because they're living in bitahon with Borei Olam. Will I know what will happen tomorrow? No. I'm not expected to know what will happen tomorrow, yet I live with God every step of the day, every second of my life. I live with God. Why? Because they know Borei Olam took care of them in the past, He will take care of them now, and will take care of them in the future. To this person, he might not have money, but he is the most fortunate person and happy person, more than the first person that has the money but lives in constant fear and worry. In fact, we just said that the word worry in Hebrew is de'aga. Now I'd like together to take the word de'aga, to spell it out, and to see what lies beneath the de'aga in a person's life. De'aga is spelled Daled, Aleph, Gimel, Hey. However, if we take the Dalet, how do you write Dalet? Daled, Lamed, Taf. So the middle letter is Lamed. That's numerical value 30. We go to the next letter, Aleph. Aleph is spelled Aleph, Lamed, Pe. The middle letter of the Hamim is Lamed. That's another 30. That's 60. Good. We go to the Gimel. Gimel is Gimel, Yod, Mem, Lamed. The middle letter is Yod. That's numerical value 10. If we have 60 and 10, that is 70. We have the last letter. That's He. He, He. The middle letter is He. That's 5. 70 plus 5 is 75. 75 is the numerical value for the word bitahon. Because through the worry that you have in life, you have to maf'il, you have to activate your bitahon. If you activate the bitahon, the worry just goes away. Even in the middle of the worry, if you activate that midah of bitahon, that's intrinsic in every single person. We all have bitahon. Can we survive a second throughout our day if we don't have bitahon, Borei Olam? We all have bitahon. But the worry sometimes is so constant and so overpowering that we forget to have bitahon. No. But when you have that de'aga, remember what lies inside the de'aga? The bitahon. Activate the bitahon that's lying inside the de'aga. However, the first person, he's so blinded because he's worrying too much. He knows the bitahon is there. He knows that he has to activate it, but he can't see past what's worrying him right now and the future. Those are two different types of people. With that being said, we have 4 different types of adjectives when it comes to a human being. Now, disclaimer before we continue. You have to pay attention to every point of the class, otherwise you will get lost. I'm not saying Hazasum, you're not paying attention. I'm just saying you'll see how we connect the dots. It'll be beautiful, Ba'adat Hashem. At least I hope so, and I think so. 4 different adjectives to describe a human being. They are Adam, which is the top. Gever, number 2. Ish, number 3. Enosh, number 4. The top adjective is Adam. Under that is Gever. We saw that Bil'am, when he's describing his vision and his prophecy, and his eye is blinded, yet when he gets the prophecy from God and he sees the vision, his eyes are open, he uses the word Gever. What does it say? Ne'um ha-Geber. But Geber is a second adjective describing a human being. This is a person that doesn't have 100% bitahon in Borei Olam. Adam, as we're called, Bnei Adam, we're supposed to have full bitahon in Borei Olam. 100% reliance on God. Anything less than Adam is Geber. What Bil'am is saying over here, if you're Geber, Ne'um ha-Geber, if you have a little bitahon in Borei Olam, you're not the ultimate, Setum ha'ayin, your eye is blinded. Isn't that what he said? He said, Ne'um ha-Geber setum ha'ayin. I'm going to speak right now, and I'm the one that has only one eye open. He's saying it's a significant meaning to us. It's a remez. It's a symbolic meaning. If you're a geber in life, if you don't have 100% bitahon in Borei Olam, you're setum ha'ayin. Your one eye is closed. Your eyes are not both open. You have one eye closed. One eye closed from relying on Borei Olam because it's closed. Relying on Borei Olam. But the other one is always seeing, How will I make ends meet? How will I pay the bills? What will happen? Always worrying about the future. But he continues like this and he says, but the person, Shomeya Imre'el, but the person that listens to God, Be'odeya Da'at Elyon, and he knows that God is with him every step of the way. Yodeya, he's mevin, he understands, he realizes, he admits, he acknowledges that God's with him all the way. Nofel, even when he falls, Gelui Ainayim, his eyes are open. Even when he has those hard times in life, even when he has those struggles, even when he falls, Nofel, but Gelui Ainayim, his eyes are open. We need Bil'am to teach us how to rely on God. You know, what was Bil'am's power? Why did Borei Olam give Bil'am a person that had relations with his donkey? A person that tapped all the way to the deep abyss of the tum'ah, of the impurity. Why did God give him the power? You know why? Because he relied on God. Says the Gemara that even a thief, if he relies on God, Hashem will make him succeed. Because a thief, before he steals, he says, God, I hope nobody catches me. That's what the Gemara says. Even a thief, if you rely on God, God will make you succeed. Yes, you'll be punished, but you call out to my name. Anyone who calls God's name will be saved. What's Bil'am's trick? Bil'am is telling you, I'm relying on God. Even when nofel, even when I fall in life and I have those hard times in life, Gelui Ainayim, my eyes are always open. I know who's behind everything. So with that being said, now let's go to the Gemara. Did Rabbi Eliezer have bitachon in Borei Olam or not? 100%. Who was Rabbi Eliezer? Rabbi Eliezer was the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol. Rabbi Eliezer, the great sage. He had 100% emunah and bitachon in Borei Olam. Yet, when the Gemara says he was living in a dark room, doesn't mean that the room was dark. He had a dark time in his life. He was going through something right now. Doesn't it happen to all of us? We all have emunah. We all have bitachon. But that day that comes and darkens my whole mood, I woke up in a great mood. I'm ready to tackle the day. I'm ready to power. I'm ready for everything. Something happens, it ruins your whole day. But you have to remember, that's something that happened, it was only a minute detail of your day. You know, when you ask a person, how was your day? What do they say? It was horrible. Why? What happened? I missed the bus. Yes, but you missed the bus, but you made the other bus or the train or whatever form of transportation, you plug it in. But overall, your day was good. But we emphasize, we always pinpoint, we always dwell on that dark time of the day. It's only a small portion of the day. Yet the whole day was ruined, but that day wasn't ruined. Change your outlook. You didn't have a bad day. You had a bad moment in the day. See the difference? There's a difference between saying, I had a bad day, or I had a bad... We all have bad moments. I have bad moments. You all have bad moments. You didn't have a bad day. You had a bad moment. Rabbi Eliezer didn't have a bad day. He was living in a dark room, which means he was going through something right now. Right now, he's going through something. Comes Rabbi Yohanan, he tells him, I see you having a hard time. I see you going through something in your life, a difficult phase in your life. You know what Rabbi Yohanan does? He rolls his sleeve, he unbuttons his sleeve, he shows him his hand. What does that mean? He brightens up the room by showing him his hand. He's giving him a symbolic meaning. See the hand. Remember, the hand of God is guiding you wherever you go. That's what it means. Not that he showed him his hand, he brightened up the room. What's magic? What is it? Siegfried and Roy? What do he do over here? He brightened up the room? Or brighten up his... How do you brighten a person's... If we're saying that he had a hard time in his life, he was going through something, through a tragedy, bar minan, we should never know. How do you, by showing him your hand, how do you make him in a good mood? By telling him, see the hand. Remember, God's hand is with you. God is guiding you. Everything is pinpointed to the last T. Hashem makes no mistakes. Work on your bitachon in Borei Olam. Work on your emunah. Says Rabbi Eliezer, you brightened up my day. Thank you so much. But then he starts crying. So Rabbi Yohanan tells him, I don't understand. If the whole reason why you were in a bad mood is because something happened to you, and now I just told you that God is guarding you, what are you still crying for? He says, because I see the majesty, the beauty will go to the dirt. You know what the symbolic meaning to that is? Majestic beauty is not talking to Rabbi Yohanan. Majestic beauty is saying the beauty of the Jewish nation. The beauty of the Jewish nation was the Hurban Beit HaMikdash, the destruction of the temple. We all have to understand something. Why do we long for the rebuilding of the Beit HaMikdash? Because the Beit HaMikdash was the epitome, was the center of all beracha in the world. You went to the Beit HaMikdash, you supplicated, you prayed to Borei Olam, you go back home, everything's there. You had no problem, Shalom Bayit. Baruch Hashem, you had children, or your children got married, you had panasa, you had no problems. That was the majestic beauty. Yefei nof mesos kol haaretz, kelilat yofi mitzion, kelilat yofi, Tzion, Yerushalayim, Beit HaMikdash. That's the majestic splendor of the Jewish nation. But says Rabbi Eliezer, I could work on my bitachon. I could work on my bitachon as much as I want. But there will be something that will be destroyed, and that's the Beit HaMikdash. And now what do? How do we work on our emunah and bitachon borei olam? The worst thing that could happen to the Jewish nation, the temple, the house of God was destroyed. How can I work on my bitachon by telling him something even deeper? We're in Galut right now. Look what's happening to the Jewish nation. Look how much they're admonishing us. Look how much they're ridiculing us. Look how much they're portraying us as we're the ones in fault. It's all our fault. We started this. Look at the Jewish nation, Rabbi Eliezer is telling Rabbi Yohanan. How do you want me to work on my bitachon if the splendor and the majestic beauty of the Jewish nation is in the dirt? So Rabbi Yohanan tells him, you know what? You're right. For that we'll both cry. I thought you were only going through something small in your life. Something small in your life, I could tell you the hand of God is guarding you. But for this, you're right. What will happen to the Jewish nation? I don't have to tell you what's going on in the world. So we were the ones who started the war. Imagine that. We were the ones who started the war, and we are the ones who are killing the little children, and we are the ones that don't want to release the hostages. It's all sheker v'chazab. The majestic beauty and splendor and glory of the Jewish nation is in the dirt, is in the ashes. That's what Rabbi Yohanan is trying to understand why Rabbi Eliezer is crying. With that being said, now let's plug back to our Perashat. Vayasei Yitzhak lasuach basadeh lifnot arib. What Yitzhak is teaching us is lifnot arib, towards evening. Why do I need to know it was towards evening? Obviously because he established minha. Yes. The symbolic meaning is lifnot arib means in the time of galut, in the dark times of your life. What do you do? What else does a Jew do in times of need? What else does a Jew do? You have to pray to Hashem. Yitzhak is teaching us, when it's not Arab, when it's a dark time in your life, what do? Lasuwah basadeh. Go out to the field, which means go and pray to Borei Olam. But then Yitzhak says like this, I uplift my eyes to Hashem, like Bil'am is teaching us. Nofel uglu ya'inayim. Even when you fall, you lift your eyes up to Hashem. But however, something stops me. Something stops me from working on my bitachon in Borei Olam. Something stops me from believing in Borei Olam 100% and relying on Him. You know what it is? Gemalim ba'im. Camels. I see camels are coming. And we ask, what's this business with the camels? In order to understand the business with the camels, listen what the Midrash says in Midrash Rabbah Shemini. We had a nation by the name of Babel. Babel destroyed the first Beit HaMikdash. And we have impure animals that we cannot eat. And one of them is a camel, Gamal. Says the Midrash, Gamal zo Babel. camel, Babel, the ones who destroyed the Beit HaMikdash, they're likened to a camel. Now this is not the time and place or the class to explain why they're likened to a camel, but I'm just bringing you this midrash for you to understand that what Yitzhak Avinu is seeing, that we could work on our reliance in Borei Olam and Bitachon and Emunah. Yes, we believe in Him even when we fall. Nofel, Gilui Einayim, our eyes are open, we believe in Him. But what will we do with the Babel, with the Gamal? What will we do with all the people trying to destroy us? What will we do then? That's the Gemalim. So what's the word Ba'im? Ba'im says Yitzhak Avinu, it's going to be more than Babel. Ladies and gentlemen, if it was only Babel, sure, the first Beit HaMikdash, 70 years afterwards we had the second one, fine, okay, we all go through hard times, 70 years, not a big deal. But Yitzhak Avinu says Ba'im. Ba'im is Rashi Tebot, acronym. Bet Aleph Yod Mem. Bet is Babel. Aleph is Edom. The Galut we're in right now, Edom, Rome, America, Russia, China. That's the one we're in right now. Then we have the Yod. Yod is Yavan. That's Hashmonaim. That's Hanukkah time. Coming up very soon. Then we have the Mem. Mem is Madai. That's Shushan. That's the time of Esther. Madai is over there by Shushan, by Iran, by Persia. Madayu Paras. Very good. Says Yitzhak, if it was only Gemalim, I would understand. We all go through a hard time, but we'll overcome. But Yitzhak Abinu says, you have to know something. When you have to work on your bitachon and emunah and borei olam, it's not enough. Okay, that's it. Borei olam sees, you worked on your bitachon, that's it, he won't bother you ever again. What's waiting for you right around the corner after the Gemalim is the Ba'im. You'll have the Babel, you have the Edom, you have the Yavan, you have the Madai, you have a lot of problems. And this is all for every single one of us. Your emunah and bitachon cannot falter at all. Ki mimini bal emot. Never expect to have 100% emunah and bitachon borei olam if you don't work on your emunah and bitachon borei olam. Why kimat almost every class do we talk and we speak about emunah, bitachon? I know it's a broken record sometimes. You don't want to hear it anymore. But guess what? He'emanti ki adaber, says David HaMelech. He'emanti, the only way I'll believe is ki adaber. If I speak about it, I always have to speak on relying on Borei Olam. Lifnot Arab, especially now, especially in the dark times, especially towards evening, especially when I don't know what's going to go in the world. Who knows? We don't know. Prophecies, Gimatriot, revelations. We have no idea. We just know it's a very dark time for the Jewish nation. It's a very dark time for the Jewish nation. If we don't work on our emunah and bitachon, borei olam, bar minan, we'll let the gemalim overtake everything. That's why the Perashat is all about the gemalim. The Perashat is trying to tell you, don't let the gemalim ruin your life. Don't let the diaspora, the exile, the galut take over your life. Work on your emunah and bitachon and borei olam. How? How do I work on it? Vayaseh Yitzhak lasuach basadeh. Those 4 words. Yitzhak Abinu went out to supplicate to Borei Olam, to ask Borei Olam to help him. If you don't ask Borei Olam to help you, you will never be able to overpower and overtake your Yetzer Hara. I want to tell you something. Right afterwards, what happens? Vatisa Ribka et Eineha. Ribka lifts her eyes. Vatere et Yitzhak. Whoa, she sees Yitzhak. Who is this beautiful person coming? Vatipol me'ala gamal. She falls off the camel. Now the joke is, why did she fall off her camel? Love at first sight. She was so blinded by his beauty. Okay, that's the joke. What's vatipol? Really? She fell off her camel? The meaning is vatipol me'al hagamal. You know what happened to Ribka? Ribka had Ruach HaKodesh just like Yitzhak, because they're one. She also saw the Gamal that will overpower Am Yisrael in the future, so she fell. She wasn't holding like Yitzhak. What does Bil'am tell us? When you fall, nofel, gelui einayim, your eyes have to be open. However, over here, Ribka, vatisa Ribka et einayha, she tries to keep her eyes open to work on emunah bitachon, but tipol me'al gamal. She can't do it. She can't do it. And you know what happened? 20 years Borei Olam says, work on your bitachon, work on your emunah. 20 years she was barren. 20 years she couldn't have children. Borei Olam is saying, work on your emunah. I didn't want to put you in this state. But put me ala gamal. And then she tells Eliezer, Mia ish halazeh. What's ish? Ish is the top. Adam, ish, the top one. Who is this person? I don't believe it. I'm like a geber, like Bil'am told us. I'm the lowest level. But we say, ha'ish, who is this person? Vayomer ha'ibed hu Adoni. Adoni is milashon Adonai. Like God. He's like God. He's the ultimate. He's the ultimate in bitachon. So what does she do? Vatikah ha'sa'if vatitkas. In English, what does she do in English? She took the veil and covered herself in shame. Wow, I'm not even on the same level as my soulmate. I thought I was strong in emunah and bitachon. I'm not on the same level as him. This is what the Perashat is teaching us. This is the most beautiful, I think, at least. The most beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pesukim of the whole Perashat. Obviously, don't get me wrong, the whole Perashat is beautiful. This is so beautiful pertaining to your life. Pertaining to your life. Work on your emunah and bitachon and borei olam. We will continue. There's a Sefer Alufei Yehuda. Now he says something in Perashat Emor, but we'll apply it to this Perashat. We said that Yitzhak goes out to the Sadeh, goes out to the field. What is he doing in the field? He's going to pray. I can understand it without using the word field. But he says Yitzhak la suwah lifnot arib. He's going out. Do I care where? I don't care where he's going out. He could go out to King's Highway. He could go out to Avenue O. Really doesn't matter. If he's going to pray, let him pray wherever he wants. Why do I need to know? La suwah b'sadeh. He's going out to the field. Says the Alufei Yehuda. Look at the word sadeh. We have this word sadeh another time. Next parasha, Toldot. When Yitzhak Avinu sees or he smells Yaakov come in, he says, Reyah beni kereyah sadeh asher beracho Hashem. Wow, you smell like the sadeh. You smell like the field. You smell like Gan Eden. I know the smell of Gan Eden. I was there for 3 years before I met your mother. I know what it smells like. Says the Alufei Yehuda. He says, in this life, we always have the other side trying to bring us down. The other side always takes the Kedusha and changes the Kedusha to Tum'ah. Changes the purity to the impurity. Look how he says it. He said the word Sadeh. He says, look at the word Sadeh. But before he says, he prefaces it like this. Otiyot Sheker. Sheker means lies, evil, wickedness. Otiyot Sheker hu ot Shin misada Kedusha. Shin is from the Kedusha side. The Otiyot Kof Resh mehelek sitra ahra. And the Kof Resh, the remaining letters of Sheker, Shin is the pure, Kof Resh is the impure. He says, V'yesh letakena otiyot halalu. But you always have to try in life to weed away the Sheker in your life. I know today it's very blurry, it's very fuzzy sometimes. We don't know what's the normal and what's the abnormal, what's truth and what's false. But you always have to try to decipher and understand and realize what's the sheker and what's not sheker. He says, how do you do that? He says, letakena otiyot halalu. That the shin is good. The shin is pure. We have the kof resh. He says, me'ot kof la'asot he. Now the kof is written like this, with a long leg going all the way to the impure side to the down. Cut the leg off and make it pure. If we cut the leg off the kof, it makes the letter he. Beautiful. He says, ume'ot resh la'asot dalid. And from the resh, by the way, in the Torah, it's spelled exactly like the dalid, but the dalid has a little, little ploop on top. Resh, dalid. He says, take that resh and change it to the dalid to bring it to the Kedusha side. Now, if we have the kof resh and we just change it to the he and a dalid and we have the shin, makes the word sadeh. We had the sheker, but if we just change the kof and the resh to a dalid and a he, we have sadeh. He says over here, שזה שדה, והוא ההפך מהשקר. He says, Sadeh is the opposite of Shekir. You know why the Pasuk tells me that Yitzhak goes out to the Sadeh? Yitzhak was going out to find the truth. I need to know what's out there in the world. I need to not be confused by what's going out there in the world. I need to see the Sadeh, take the Shekir, change the Shekir. But how do I change the Shekir? How do I change the Shekir? Through more bitachon and more emunah and Borei Olam. You'll know when you rely on Borei Olam, you're changing the Shekir to the Sadeh. That's why it says, La suwah bas-Sadeh. He went out of the Sadeh. Plug it back to Parashat, or plug it forward to Parashat Toledot. Yaakov Abinu walks in. Seemingly, he's lying to his father Yitzhak. Seemingly, he's staying in the Barachot in not a kosher way. Yitzhak Abinu smells it and he says, I understand now what's going on. I understand that you had to lie to get the Barachot. But you know why I'm not upset at you? Because you listened to your mother. Listen to Rivka. Now Rivka Imenu, now she got the message. She was working on Emunah Bitachon the whole time, all the way back from Perashat Hayei. She wasn't on my level. But now that she wants you to get the Berachot, because she realizes Esav shouldn't get the Berachot, now she worked on Emunah and Bitachon and trust in Borei Olam. Now she's on a good playing field like me. That's why I smell the Sadeh. Not only do I smell the Sadeh of Gan Eden, but I smell that Ribka Imenu, your mother Ribka, she took the Shekir and she switched it to Sadeh. Danny, are you with me? You're still with me? You sure? Fine. So far. Don't worry, you'll like the next segment of our class. We really see this. See, I have to pick on him. He chose a seat. You choose the seat, the hot seat, I have to pick on you.
Even if I sit in the back.
Of course I'll pick on you, of course. We see this when Avraham Avinu, what can we say about Avraham? He was promised the whole Eretz Israel, yet he has to go now and purchase a plot for his wife Sarah. Borei Olam tells you the whole land is yours, but then he has to test you. And he sees, let's see, will you purchase the land or not? I want to see how much you believe in me. Yeah, so purchasing the whole Sadeh for 400 kesef. We'll see exactly what's going on. Abraham Abinu tells Ephron, right? He tells him, Bechesef maleh yitenenna li. In English, kesef maleh. What does kesef maleh mean? Kesef maleh means, where am I looking? Kesef maleh. Tet. Kesef maleh says, grant it to me for its full price. Kesef maleh. Why? Did I think really Avraham Abinu was going to ask for a discount? It says Avraham Abinu. Whatever the guy wants, you'll pay for it, right? Because you have to bury your wife Sarah over there. And you know that's the Me'ara. That's the cave where Adam and Hava are buried. That's Me'at HaMachpelah, where Sarah will be buried, where Le'ah will be buried, where Yitzhak, Rivka, Yaakov. You know. So what do you do? Give it to me for full price. What does that mean? Give it to me for full price. There's got to be something deeper behind these words. What does that mean? Give it to me for full price. Ephron was a very strange individual. Ephron, when we are encountered or met with this person, Ephron over here, when he finally sells the Sadeh to Abraham Abinu, it says over here, Ephron ben Sohar. But I'm trying to find the pasuk, excuse me. Here. Vayishkol Avraham le-Ephron. Abraham Abinu ends up giving him 400 coins, whatever he wanted. However, over here, Ephron is missing a vav. Every time we're met with Ephron, it's spelled Ayin Pe Resh Vav Nun. Ayin Pe Resh Vav Nun. Over here, when he finally relinquishes the Sadeh, when he finally sells the Sadeh, the land, the plot, the whole cave to Avraham, it says Ephron missing a vav. The rabbis say, you know why Ephron is missing a vav? Because Ephron is Gematria 400. Ayin Ra' is 400. Ephron, his problem is that he didn't have emunah and bitachon and Borei Olam, that Borei Olam will give me the price that I want. So he always demanded top dollar. But you have to understand something, and it goes to everybody over here. If Borei Olam wants you to make that sale, you'll make it for the price that you want. Don't cheat. Don't scam. The money is meant to come to you. It will come to you. Top dollar. Kesef maleh. Avraham Avinu knows this. Avraham Avinu knows Ephron. Ephron is 400. Gematria 400. Ra'ayin. He has a ra'ayin in everybody's thing. He's jealous of everybody. He always feels, which most people do, he always feels that he's cheating me. He's scamming me. He should have gave it to me at a better price. Why are you charging me so much? Avraham Avinu knows the nature of Ephron. That Ephron is not a person that relies on God. He says, you know what? Kesef maleh. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Whatever you want. Kesef maleh. You'll see now the difference between Avraham and Ephron. Look at the beautiful difference between Avraham and Ephron. Avraham says the Pirkei Avot that Avraham and the students, which we are the students of Avraham, we are supposed to have a ayin tova, a good eye. Now, what's the definition of a good eye, Moshe? A good eye, the definition of a good eye means I am not jealous of what you have. Because I have reliance on God. I have emunah and bitachon in Borei Olam and faith in God that if I have it, it means it belongs to me. If you have it, it belongs to you. That's Avraham Avinu. Ephron was not like that. Ephron, since it goes together. If you don't have emunah and bitachon in God, you will have an ayin ra in everything. Ayin ra, I don't mean that you're giving you the evil eye. That's not what I mean. Ayin ra means you always want what the other guy has. You're a jealous person. You covet a lot. You're a greedy person. You don't have mitat istabkut. You're never satisfied with your lot. That's Ephron. That's Avraham. And Avraham Avinu gave this midah to all his children. And the one that we see had this purely inside of him was Yaakov Avinu. And the opposite of Yaakov is Esav. We'll see how. When Esav is met with Yaakov, and Yaakov readies for him gifts, camels, donkeys, sheep, he gives him a lot of animals. Esav says, what is all this? Wow, what is all this? So Yaakov Avinu says, it's for you, my master. Esav says, Yesh li rav. I have a lot. Yaakov Avinu, when Esav tells him, why don't you take it back? Yaakov Avinu says, Yesh li kol. I have everything. Now, if I were to ask you, what is the difference between Yesh li rav and Yesh li kol? Yesh li rav means I have a lot, but I want more. Yesh li kol, which is Yaakov, I have everything. Why does Yaakov have everything? Because Yaakov Avinu has an ayin tova. It's no coincidence that ayin tova is numerical value 147 and Yaakov lived to 147 years old. Because he was the epitome of ayin tova. Mashe'en ken, the opposite of Yaakov, just like Ephron, is Esav. Esav doesn't rely on God. Esav doesn't have bitachon, doesn't have emunah. He says, Yesh li rav. I have a lot, but I'll always get more. But look at this beauty. Yesh li rav. Now Yod, Yesh, is 10. Li, Lamed, is 30. That's 40. Rav is 200. That's 240. What do we know about that numerical value 240? Amalek. Amalek is the doubts in your life. Amalek is not a nation. It's an ideology. It's a mentality. Always having doubts on God that what I have is not enough for me. I need more. God, why aren't you giving it to me? I always have an ayin hara on what the other person has because I don't have emunah and bitachon in my Creator. So that's what Esav is saying. Yesh li rav. I come from Amalek, or Amalek will come from me. Put doubts in every single one of you. Not talking about only money. Not only talking about your life. Talking about exactly the situation we are in right now. Doubts in God. What will happen? I'm very scared. I don't know what will happen in the future of the Jewish nation. Doubts in God. But you have to be like a Yaakov Avinu. And ayin tova and everything in life. Ayin tova, Yaakov Avinu, 147. His life was 147. And Esav, because he had an ayin hara, he met Yaakov Avinu Deni with how many people? 400 people. Why 400 people? Because Ayn Ra is 400. So Esav is trying to implement that Ayn Ra trait inside of Yaakov Avinu. That's what the world is trying to put in the Jewry right now, in the Jewish nation right now. Doubts in God. You want to see how this plays out in the story of Ephron Avraham? Says in the Pasuk, when finally Avraham Abinu purchases it for $400, he takes the Tum'ah all the way, and he brings the Kedusha in. He takes the Sheker, and he brings the Sadeh. What does it say? Vayakom Sedeh Ephron. The Sadeh now is revealed to us. The Sheker goes away, and the Sadeh comes back to life. Because the impurity went, and the Kedusha came in. But what does it say in the Pasuk? Vayakom Sedeh Ephron. The field of Ephron rose up. What does that mean? It rose up. Vayakom Deni, first letter, is a Vav. Sedeh is a sin. Ephron is a Ayin, that makes the word Esav. Which means Avraham Abinu, by purchasing the land for $400, you know what he did? He took it out of the hands of Esav and he brought it to his side. Took it out of the impure side and put it to the purity side. I know this might have been a complicated and confusing and fuzzy and blurry class, but everybody here always requests that I go deep, not only on the surface, but if you're not into that, then, we could go back to story time. Bring out the baby bottles. But not only that, if we said Vayakom Sedeh Ephron is Rashi Tevot Esav, look at the last letters. Vayakom is a mem. Sedeh is a he. Ephron is the nun. That makes the word Haman. What do we know about Haman? Haman says, I could have everything in the world, but if I'm missing one Jewish person bowing down to me, enenu shoveli. Kol zeh. He's exactly like Esav. Esav says, I could have everything, but I want more. I want more. I want more. Haman says, I could have everybody bow down to me, but I want more. And I want more. Why? Because he doesn't believe in Borei Olam, that Borei Olam, if he gave it to you, belongs to you. If he didn't give it to you, it doesn't belong to you. Rabbatai, this is what plagues us every single day. We learned it from Rabbi Eliezer. We learned it from Ephron. We learned it from the Gamal. Every single day we are faced with this challenge. How much emunah and bitachon you will have in God. And that's why I beseech you over and over and over again. And I beg you, I implore you, stop being brainwashed with these videos and these images. They're not doing you any good whatsoever. They rip down the signs, they put up the signs. Who cares? What is it going to do for you? It's only going to instill doubt in your mind. Why is this happening in the world? And I tell you time and time again, instead of watching those videos, open up a Tehillim. That's more significant right now. What does Ishaq Abinu do? Lifnot Arab, La suwah basadeh. Yaakov Abinu, he knows. He has to pray, he has to supplicate, he has to request from Borei Olam. That's the only way we will win this and overpower this. But we're not done. Abraham Abinu. We said that Abraham Abinu had such an ayin tova, such a good eye. He believed in God. He relied on God. And Borei Olam pays him back. Abraham zaken baba yamim. And Abraham was old, well on in years. Hashem berach et Abraham bakol. And Borei Olam blessed Abraham with everything. Danny, what did we say this word bakol comes from? Yaakov Abinu. What does Yaakov Abinu tell Esav? Yeshli kol. I have everything. Not I have something and I want more. I have everything. It's no coincidence we say in Birkat HaMazon, where Birkat HaMazon, by the way, is the only segula we have documented for Parnasah. Not reading Shir HaShirim 40 times, now wearing the red string, and now drinking the water from Eretz Israel. Okay? Huh? No, the only one we have documented from the Torah is Birkat HaMazon. That's the Gemara. And what do we say over there? We say, Bakol, Mikol, Kol. You want Segula Parnasa? You want to be rich? You want Beracha? Your mentality should be, Bakol, Mikol. I have everything. I'm not missing anything. If I rely on Borei Olam, if I have emunah and bitachon Borei Olam, Bakol, Mikol, Kol means I have everything. I am not lacking anything. Lo hasar lanu ve'al yihsar lanu mazon tamid le'olam va'id. That's why it's so important. People try to get out of Birkat HaMazon by eating mezonot. Don't. It's so beautiful. Birkat HaMazon. How long does Birkat HaMazon take you? 4 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, trying to beat the record, right? You're saying the words. You're saying Borei Olam never left me in the dark. He will never leave me in the... Okay, maybe I'm going through a small phase in my life like Rabbi Uri Lati. Maybe it's dark right now. But al yahsar lanu mazon tamid le'olam ba'id. If we work on emunah and bitachon Borei Olam. And now we can explain what it means bekesef maleh. Kesef maleh means, you know why Avraham Avinu didn't care to give Ephron full price? If Borei Olam gave me the money, it means he wants me to have the money. If he wants me to pay the money right now, he means he wants me to pay the money. It's not my money. Why is it so hard to part ways with our money? Because sometimes we feel that it's our money. But it's not your money. It's Borei Olam gave you the money. You know what David HaMelech says in Tehillim? Asabehem kesef v'zahab. What does asabehem mean? Asabehem means their idols are from kesef and zahab. They believe in gold and silver. But the Hasidic masters say asabehem comes from the word atzuv. Atzuv means to be very sad. You know why people are very sad throughout the day? Kesef v'zahab. It's all about the kesef. It's all about the silver. It's all about the gold. Because they don't have the kesef v'zahab. That's what makes them atzuv. But Abraham Abinu makes me atzuv. Even if Ephron wants $1,000, it's not my money in the end of the day. Take it. And we'll conclude with this beautiful remiz. If Avraham Avinu is ayin tova, relying on Borei Olam, full bitachon on Borei Olam, emunah on Borei Olam. Ephron, on the other hand, he feels he's always lacking. He wants more. What's his name in the Torah? Ephron ben Tzohar. If you take those letters, it makes the word atzuv. Ayin tzadi bet. We change it around a little bit. Ephron ayin ben Tzohar. Flip the bet to the tzadi. Ayin tzadi bet. It's atzuv. You know why his name is showing you he's atzuv? Because he has a lack of emunah and bitachon and Borei Olam. And a person that has a lack of emunah and bitachon and Borei Olam, asabehem kesef v'zahab. You know what will make him sad all day? He cannot function. And everything will ruin his day. One sale that he lost, I had the worst day. But what about all the other sales that you made? But I lost this sale. Asabehem kesef v'zahab. Because if you're thinking about kesef v'zahab all day, that's going to make you sad. May Borei Olam infuse in us the lesson of Avraham Avinu, the lesson of Yitzhak, that even if it's a Arif, even if it's a dark time, go out, lasuach basadeh, pray to Borei Olam. There's going to be gemalim ba'im, there's going to be camels, ba'im, Babel, Edom, Yavan, Madai. It's going to be hard, even if you want to say the Maim, even Madai, Mitzrayim even. You could put Mitzrayim in the equation. It's going to be very hard. But remember, have emunah and bitachon Borei Olam. Realize, bakol mikol kol. Borei Olam, that Rabbi Yohanan showing him his hand. The hand of Borei Olam is guiding you. Borei Olam will never leave you alone. Borei Olam has your back. Borei Olam is with you every step of the way. Here at Son, we should take this message. And B'adat Hashem, Borei Olam will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu.